Hey guys. Alright, so the video down below is from No Bullshit, a really solid channel. He uploads pretty much every day. And he did a video responding to Adam Ruins Everything and his little piece on why we should be eating more bugs. And it kind of hit me like a ton of bricks. All these people that are talking about, well, we got to eat more bugs because it will end up saving the environment because of our practices in terms of farming and even the way we kill the animals. It's inhumane. They say, well, eating bugs is a much more morally superior way to go. You look at these people, they're never going to abide by this themselves. They're just going to push it on to the middle and lower class and say, hey, this is what you guys got to do now in order to save the planet. Now, excuse me while I go eat a juicy double cheeseburger. It's pretty upsetting, honestly, because what they're trying to do is they're trying to make us accept a third world style of living where they say, hey, eating bugs, totally fine, because we need to save the environment. And all the meanwhile, they're not practicing these types of things. And I can give you plenty of examples of where they say, do as I say, not as I do. Look at Leonardo DiCaprio, fellow Scorpio. Unfortunately, he's done some very awful things in his life. But you look at one of these things that he's done. He flies around in his private jet, goes around the world and tells everybody about the dangers of the rise in carbon levels. Well, why, if you're so concerned, why are you flying around in a private jet? And why is Greta Van Thunberg, why is she driving around in Arnold's Hummer? I mean, I guess it's an electric Hummer? Please fact check me on that. There's a lot going on there that is just completely hypocritical. But they do want us to adopt a third world style of living because that's what they want to turn our country into. Western society as a whole. They want us to become a major shithole. A big, giant shithole. While they reap in all of the great things about life. And that is anything from technology, medicine, nutrition, education, you name it. They don't want us to have any of that. They want us to be sheeple, essentially. So, no bullshit, he's going through this video. He's pointing out just how absurd this demonstration is. They have an instant where they have this dish prepared for them. It's I guess it's like prawns with ants on top. Well, you're still kind of you're being very misleading here because you're eating the prawns and you're saying, "Oh, this is really good, yum yum yum," but you have to look at the actual dish itself. It's not actual bugs. Now, keep in mind there are countries out there that eat bugs. And I think, even in Mexico, they have kind of like a novelty candy where it's crickets and a lollipop, or deep fried crickets or whatever. Deep fried grasshoppers, I think, is one. I think they actually had those down here at the Santa Cruz County Fair. And it's cool, I guess. You can tell your friends at school, hey, I got to eat bugs over the weekend. It's kind of cool. But if you had to adopt that as your main staple in your diet, well, I don't think you'd be very nourished. I think you'd be malnourished, if anything. There's a reason why us humans have evolved to the point where we are harvesting cows, chickens, pigs, ducks, fish, shrimp, pretty much everything. Because we need that protein. And a lot of us, especially people in my demographic, I guess, younger males that also like to work out, who like to get a lot of protein. And just like the overall taste and act of eating meat, it seems to be a very enjoyable thing. And I don't know. I think a lot of these vegans, they actually are pretty miserable because they don't eat meat. I don't know what has really gotten into them. I think they maybe just get guilted out of eating meat because of all these, all these things that they've seen. But they have to look to their ancestors. Our ancestors were hunting woolly mammoth in order to get protein, in order to get nutrition. And I don't think back then that they had necessarily too much guilt on their conscience while doing that, because that was their way of life. That was what they did in order to survive. Now, I'm not saying there's anything wrong with veganism. It's quite frankly something that I would never adopt. I actually tried it very briefly in high school, and all the things that you have to do, it's not just your diet, but it's also the products that you use. Hair products, toothpaste, whatever. I mean, we do have a lot of animal products and non-food items, and you basically have to change your entire lifestyle in order to become a vegan. Anyways, I'm getting a little off topic here, but I think that everybody needs to know, in closing, everybody needs to know that this push for eating bugs, for adopting electrical cars, for you name it, reducing your carbon emissions, it's not being done in order to make the planet a better place. They're doing it in order to lower the standard of our living, and for no good reason other than control. They want us to be prisoners. They want us to be prisoners of the state. And a great example of that, you take a look at the Green New Deal, and you'll see that it's just a massive tax increase. Now, think about this. I was thinking about this as I was riding my bike home last night. And yes, I ride a bike. I am an environmentalist for what it's worth. I like to recycle. I don't ever litter. I don't have a car, and I'm pretty proud about that. And meanwhile, all these people that are telling me that, you need to do more to protect the environment. Well, meanwhile, they're driving their cars. They're driving these cars that have 4 or 5 seats in them with only one person in them. And that's one thing I'll mention too. I do think that there are too many cars on the road. I think that, just the overall, I'll come back to that in another video, but I think that the overall effort to carpool would actually be a very good thing for society. I don't think it should be mandated, but I also think that it should be something that should be considered, because a lot of people would see that, hey, look, I can carpool with this person. We are all going to the same place, and they can make themselves feel better about, quote unquote, saving the planet. But you look at, going back to my last point, you look at the Green New Deal. It's a major tax increase. This is essentially leading to us becoming slaves, wage slaves, like total wage slaves. Like, if you think it's bad now with all of the money that gets taken out of our paycheck, these people are literally advocating and trying to advance us to the point where 100% of our paycheck is taxable. And what we earn is entirely up to the government, not according to our own free will. That's a pretty scary thought, and it's even more scary that people are dumb enough, that are stupid enough to think that this is a good idea. So I will be doing my best in the next couple weeks to think of ways that we can actually start raising awareness regarding the Green New Deal as to how destructive it would actually be to our country and to the rest of the world, for that matter. And I will also try and think of ways that we as human beings can also do our part to be clean and not go overboard, because I do think environmentalism is a good thing. I do think that pollution is a very bad thing. And that goes back to my point regarding too many cars on the road. So in the next couple weeks, just stay tuned. my brain is firing on all cylinders, and I just want to share that information with you guys. So that's all I got. Arm's getting tired. All right. All right, guys. Thank you so much for watching. God bless. I'll see you later.